Yo, what's going on? NPC the game here. Gabriel Carbo. Happy All Souls Day. I was raised a Catholic, and those programming tendencies still run through my veins. And I have to say, this today, which is the day after Halloween, yesterday, when the veil is supposed to be the thinnest, where you can speak to the dead, and the dead can fuck with the living or something like that. The day after is traditionally known as All Souls Day for the Catholics, for the Catholics, and All Souls Day is a day that the Roman Catholics commemorate all the faithful departed loved ones that were baptized as Christians who are now believed in their faith to be in purgatory because they died with the guilt of the lesser sins on their souls. That sounds pretty heavy, huh? Well, it should be. That's all. Catholics are, man. That's why a lot of people they say I'm a recovering Catholic because there was like a lot of heavy weight on that. I mean, look at what some of them wear around their neck, like a torture device. But anyway, I have to say, my musings about Catholics on this All Souls Day, November 1st, 2024, from live coming to you live from Taiwan, District 13. I have to say that the Catholic faith did program or instill in me that there's only one God, most high, creator, and that he did and does have a son named Jesus, who, in a way that's kind of confusing for a young kid and even maybe for some adults, who's also the son of God, but also God at the same time. And the last thing that it instilled in me is the fact that if you ask for forgiveness and you really mean it, you can get it. But does that give you a right to do whatever you want whenever you want? No, I don't. I don't believe so. I don't know so. So shout out to the souls that under the program that they're Catholic and they feel like they're in purgatory. So what is purgatory? Purgatory is that in between realm, the realm that you feel like you're stuck, and almost like you're in a waiting room, a perpetual state of waiting, right? What are you waiting for though? Are you waiting for your life to change? Are you waiting for someone to? I'm talking to the souls out there that are lingering around on this All Souls Day. Um, Flesh or your soul, which your drip as the ethereal fabrics of reality of the space time continuum. What do you worship? Where do you put your attention? Because worship is the act of expressing reverence or devotion, right, to a divine being or supernatural power. It can also mean just having a strong feeling of respect and admiration for someone or something. And I think that's what Dino was getting at. Shout out to Dino in the chat. Hope he's still there. This is a great comment. It said, "Hey NPC, how are you?" Well, I'm good. I'm good here on this All Souls Day, November 1st, Scorpio season 2024. Um, as children, he says we worship. Hey, Dino, he's there. What up, Dino? Salute to Dino, man. I was telling my wife the other day, like, I'm so blessed to know Dino and build with him. Because I mean, he lives it. he walks the talk. From what I see in the internet, what he shows, yeah, and he has a zest for life, and he's older too than me, which is great because I really like people who've been there, done that. Because in a way, we're all on the same journey, and except that we're just doing it in our own individual way. But it's probably like one consciousness though. So it's good to have people older because I think I'm out here, mentoring and teaching people whether they know it or not. Like yeah, it's nice to have a mentor of your own, and I have definitely Dino seems to be becoming one of those for me. He has a lot of knowledge. So it says as children we worship our parents are our guardians. Yes, we do. We do. Because they're everything. Or like I always say that their mothers are our first teachers, our first nurses, our first chefs. They give us milk, the elixir of life, the breast milk. So why wouldn't you worship your mother, or why wouldn't you worship your father who brings home the bread so to sustain your lifestyle? Why wouldn't you worship your father who gives you those jewels when you were young? Like Tupac said, his father told him, I got advice from my father. All he told me was this, nigga, get off your ass if you plan to be rich. That's actually a jewel, right? If you don't get up and get out and do something, you're going to be lost forever. Or if you don't get up out the bed and protect your house, if you're the father, somebody might come in and catch you lacking and steal your jewels on your kingdom. So this is why you would be worshipped by your parents, by your children, right? And I'm talking about children. I'm not talking about baby goats because goats are kids. Right? Goats are great. Like who was saying that I had a goat yesterday? Probably was. I think it was. No, it was Zephyr. Shout out to Zephyr. Is that her? Excuse me. Her grandmother, the Capricorn, got her a goat, and which is awesome, especially being a Capricorn. The goat is the symbol of the Capricorn mixed with a mermaid tail or merman tail, the sea goat. But yeah, we have children, so as children we do worship our parents or guardians because guardians are something to be cherished too. Not everyone has the quote unquote traditional nuclear family of being raised by their mother or father, right? Um, some of those had like what we call it, adopted parents or aunts and uncles or grandmas or grandpas or both to raise, because I literally have my oldest friend Jerome JJ. He was literally born, like I keep using this word literally. Yeah, I'm keeping it real, folks, as always. He literally was born in February while I was born in November, and I was born a couple months before him. Yeah, I got the party started, and we've known each other since the beginning of time. His mother was pregnant when my mother was pregnant. His mother was best friend. His grandmother was best friends with my grandmother. They worked together, you know, busting their ass as waitresses, and his mom and dad, no disrespect from them, but they weren't ready to be parents, guardians in his life. So he was raised by his grandmother and grandpa. When grandpa passed away when he was very young, so it was just him and his grandma. And where I had, like, my grandma was there, but I also had my mom, which was a blessing. How many of y'all were raised by your grandparents or guardians, or aunts and uncles, or even just didn't have the traditional? bringing of that. Well, Jerome ended up being like a beast in a good way. I mean, his grandmother gave him everything he wanted. He always had the fly drip, the gear, the Jordans, the Barclays, the like in the video game systems. Always going to the elite basketball camps. That's what we did. We balled. That was our initiations or rituals was playing sports back then. Keep us off from killing each other on the streets of the Bay. And yeah, so he always got what he wanted, but he didn't have his mother or father. And when he did see them, bro, they were smoked out. And it makes sense that Jerome was the first one in our crew to start smoking weed. I mean, we eventually caught up with them, you know, fucking with these young women. He was the first, right? Yeah. His grandmother was busy working while our parents were working too, but you know, they didn't need to necessarily shower us with gifts, and but they showered us with affection because we knew there was a connection there, intimate connection that we came from these people, literally came from them, no generations removed. So maybe this is why sometimes these grandparents have a hard time with getting that worship of their grandchildren that they're the guardian of. Don't get me wrong, Jerome did love his grandmother. Shout out to Shirley. She was like an auntie grandmother for me as well. So yeah, so you said the hierarchy in the animal kingdom, this is Dino, is an aid of survival. In the hyena social structure, worship is given to the alpha female. Wow. Hmm. The alpha female. That sounds like that's unheard of in the manosphere. Rollo Tomasi, the self-proclaimed godfather of the manosphere, would say, "Alpha female? How is that even possible?" But it is possible. Obviously, in the animal kingdom, uh, in the hyena social structure, right? The female. So the worship is given to the atmosphere. Yeah, whoever has the con, aka the power, you're gonna get it, and this happens too. And even in the community, when I say community, I'm talking about the black community. That's what I know. Um, because there's so many single moms, the con is given to her, right? Where she has to be the mother and the father, right? And even in some of these households where the family has a mother and father, maybe the father's a little bit more beta-ish, a little bit more humble, even a little bit more has a little bit more what do they call it effeminate ways about them, or just as uncomfortable with confrontation. The female gets the con, the mom, and it ends up being the admiration and the worship of her children. You see this in the sitcoms we watch growing up and now today, where they make the father a buffoon, and like Homer Simpson. Um, Definitely comes to mind. Al Bundy, Married with Children. Peter Griffin, there you go, right? A buffoon who was a father. A lot of times in these shows, the father is the last one to know what's really going on. Because traditionally, if you watch these shows like Leave It to Beaver, these old black and white, like um, quintessential paradigm, what it means to be a nuclear family in America, which is the pinnacle of what a human is for a lot of ways for people. Their father would work all day and come home at night, get his drink from his wife and newspaper and smoke his pipe. And he wouldn't even know what the hell was going on with the kids, their school and whatnot, extracurricular activities or their friend circles, maybe a little bit, but yeah. But at least the father they didn't portray the father like an idiot like nowadays, because maybe that's what is what we're getting with a lot of fathers. Men need to step up. We talk a lot of shit about women, you know, how they're like thoughting around. But for all we know, they just need a little bit more guidance and a little bit more appreciation or worship in a good way, in a sustainable way, right? Give them as men we want our women to worship us. However, are we giving them anything to worship? Really? Honestly? Or just being a weak beta male? But yeah. So Dino, that was a good comment, right? I got people in the chat. Salute Resto Chesto in the house. Legend. All legends in the house. Mhm. Yeah. Modern Family. Turtle, that's right. Yo, that guy that is Al Bundy. That's Ed O'Neill, the actor. Uh he played Al Bundy, but in that show the grandpa, he does play a more alpha with his trophy wife, hot Latina wife, right? Who was a single mom until he met her. But yeah, that the redhead dude, he's very effeminate in there. The main father, and that wife is always getting shit done all the time, right? He's a little hottie too, but he's funny though. That man, he is very funny. He makes for good comedy, but in a family, it's like what we say: a captain asleep at the wheel. You know, a drunk captain. When if they're using the metaphor as a family, is supposed to be a ship going forward, conquering and navigating through this maritime reality, watery reality we live. If you have a drunk captain, who the hell is gonna take the steering wheel? It's gonna be the first mate, which is your wife, who's usually not necessarily comfortable with that position. She's a lot of times comfortable in that position of being like the helpmate, the supporter, and in a way, her information and intel is leading the ship. It's just that every organization, every unit, team, every family needs a head, and a lot of times it's the father. Even though it's almost like a joint parenting, a joint leadership nowadays, but to save face, the man is usually the head. And if he's a drunk at the wheel, that's sad because the woman's gonna have to take over, and she's not gonna be able to do her awesome first mate duty she usually does. So who are we worshiping? Who are we worshiping on this ancestor worshiping episodes? I don't know. I worship. I was gonna say I worship the chat. Now I'm getting into sticky situations right now. Worship the Most High. Worship yourself, doing good so you can provide for a healthy lifestyle for your soul inside of you and your family and your neighbors and your community and all that in your country. Um, who's in? Shout out to Special K in the building. Uh, Dino. Ashley says, I have to say this is very possible. I have to realize that I've been steered by the moon energy throughout my life, and you know it. What is the moon in right now? Yeah, yeah. What moon energy do we have? As Dino was saying, the great Dino. Shout out to Astro Matrix on the app. Can tell you a lot about what's really going on. If this shit comes up. Today's moon phase. Oh shit. Moon in Scorpio. Hell yeah. Moon in Scorpio. My favorite moon. Yeah. It's so my favorite moon that I don't even care that people are leaving right now. Even though I said something. I'm gonna bring this shit up. Yes, sir. Moon in Scorpio. Moon in Scorpio. I love this moon. It's keeping it real, keeping it 100. Yeah. We still streaming? You guys still out there? Yeah. Oh, it's a happy new moon. That's right. Because whatever the moon is, shout out to Leopard print for that. Whatever the moon is in, that tell you that tell you what the energy of the planet is. I'm using that word energy. I don't fuck it, right? And if it's in the Scorpio energy, that's an energy of the urge to merge, urge to be serious and into what's really going on out there. Yeah, being aware of all these things. I'm here with you. I'm here with you too, Kay. Appreciate you. Yeah. No, some of this comment. Much love for sure. Much love to Special K, as always, and eternal. Yeah. Oh, legends in the building all day. CFR Network. Good night. Good night. Okay. Yeah, it's late for you, my friend, over there in the UK, on the other side of the pond for y'all. Shout out to the Supreme God of the UK, Brother Powell, CFR Network. Check out all his content. He's a beast out there. He's been beasting for years. Yeah. Yeah, so Moon and Scorpio definitely is something that I love because I'm in Moon and Scorpio, right? The Moon usually is a space where you get nostalgic about your thoughts about your life, your inner dialogue about your emotional life that you really don't share with people unless you feel comfortable with them. And mine's in Scorpio, which is in a way an uncomfortable place or not a. However, it's all I know, and this is why I'm like I can be super intense and super extreme at things, and with different things because Scorpio is contemplating life and death all the time, most of the time, whether we know it or not. And and a component I learned later on is rebirth. You can die and come back. In a sense, we die and come back every day when we go to sleep at night. Right? Every day is the newest day in creation. My Australian Aboriginal friends told me, are telling me, it's dream time. Right? We in the future over here. It's 8:47 a.m. in the a.m. Right? I feel you guys. And today, like I've said, we're talking about ancestor worship, which indeed is a significant part of this Taiwanese culture I'm playing with right now, interacting with, and contributing to, and it's celebrated with in a couple different aspects. There's the biggest holiday we have is called tomb sweeping, which which in Chinese is Qingming Da, and this holiday is celebrated around April 4th and the 5th. April, Aries month, Mars, war, passion, sex. And it's a time to clean. We clean the tombs or they call it tombs, but cemetery or graveyard of our loved ones, and they make the family makes offerings to them, right? They make offerings because the ancestor worship in Taiwan is very synonymous with these shrines that they make where we put tables in front of the house, for example, or in front of the business, or in this case, in front of the tomb, every couple months to honor the ancestors. And we offer up food and drink to the ancestors, right? Because this ancestor worship is based on the belief that the soul, which is your soul, your core beliefs and memories that live on after you quote unquote die, the soul continues after death and can be communicated with by the living. And the living are expected to provide for the deceased in the afterlife and in their return. The deceased are believed to be able to intervene in the affairs of the living, right? How many of you guys practice ancestor worships and you don't even know it? By the times you had like a friend that died, my good friend Roy, he passed away um, back in 2000. Yeah, yeah. Even before my mom died, uh, passed away. He was a good friend. He was a little older than me. I guess he kind of looked like me. So much so that I used to use his ID to get into clubs so we can drink over there at City Nights in San Francisco, California, which was like the poppin' ass club. Where there's a lot of boppers and young ladies that were which are boppers, as we say, teeny boppers, but they're literally like 18 and up. We go there, and I use his ID because City Nights was this big ass club. It was 18 to 20 and 20 to 21, and they let the 18-year-olds in, but you can't buy drinks. So Roy would get in, and then I would use his ID to get it to the bar to get drinks. Because I mean, because come on, when you're some of us when we're young like that, we don't have the courage or the confidence to just go up there and holler at a female. We have to use that liquid courage, right? And fuck drinking and chugging and throwing back vodka straight in the line or in the parking lot before you go in. That's a little bit too much. We want to sip our drink like civilized gentlemen. So I would use his ID, right? And it was a trip because we used to play in this basketball city league, and we were in this championship league. We were like one of the younger teams. We were like in our 20s, while you got these dads playing and stuff in their 30s and 40s. We're playing in the Palo Alto. That's where Stanford is. Next to East Palo Alto was at one time the murder capital of the United States per capita. We were playing the basketball city league in Palo Alto, and we're in the championship, and we're doing, we're just, we're just breathing along. All of a sudden, Roy gets the steal. What Roy Womack, he gets the steal. He starts, um, he starts running, dribbling down the court like he's a gazelle. He literally jumped. I'm not kidding. Like a little after the free throw line, it seemed like, and just tomahawk dunks it. I was like, holy shit, where the hell did that come from? Right? And we end up winning the game, a championship, and I don't know. I had a lot of good memories with Roy. Like years later, I found out that he dated like my ex girlfriend I used to be with for like many years uh, before I met my wife. And but anyway, like there was this one Christmas night, uh, Christmas Eve, no, the Saturday before Christmas Eve, like the 22nd. He was supposedly he went to this Christmas party with his cousin, and they were in downtown San Jose where all the bars and clubs were, right? So they went to this bar to pregame, right? Because we're always trying to party, always trying to find women and new friends, as they say, as you girls like to say, friends. I don't say lovers, but you guys say friends. Very smart of you guys. I'm learning from you. Well, anyway, they were at the bar pre-gaming it, and they're getting twisted and wasted, and they started to go. They're going to go to the holiday party, right? For Roy's corporation that he works at. So they get in the car. They get in the in the Chevy, right? And they mob out. Roy in the passenger seat, and then his brother slash cousins driving drunk, flips the car on the freeway on Highway 17 in front of where I was born, San Jose Hospital, and Roy dies immediately. Yeah, that was the first time that I had like an adult friend die. You know, I had a friend that passed away that I played baseball with on a freak accident. He got run over by a train. Shout out to Brian Poutre. And also my friend Billy Dyke, who had cancer in Little League, and he passed away with leukemia. He would pitch and then throw up in between innings. He was a beast. He used to look up to me a lot. But when Roy died, that shit was wild, bro. Cause going to the funeral and seeing Yeah, seeing your homie in the casket, that was very an existential moment. And saying like, yeah, it's great being young and it's a gift and all, but there is a time limit to this fun and what we call it, learning and building that we have here on this finite plane of Earth. But yeah, man, that's Roy. He's definitely an ancestor. You know, it's funny how like your family is your family by blood, but then we have the opportunity to choose our soul group, our friends, family. And I really believe if there is something called reincarnation, probably all of us that are meeting up here in the chat and whatnot, and we probably made some pact years ago. Said, hey, let's meet up here in November 2024, and let's commune and shoot the shit and build as we travel through this reality. You know, even though we probably knew each other for like years before. So anyway, uh, yeah, yeah. Shout out to everyone that's had someone that lost someone they love. You know, definitely an eye opener. So I want to give a shout out to my mother, my grandmother, my mother. Say her name, Anita Cuevas. My grandmother Esther Bays, Roy, uh, my good friend in New Jersey. He just had a baby boy a couple years ago, 2 years ago. Jason, Jay, as we call him. You know, um, yeah, and all your loved ones, I salute on this All Souls Day, day after Halloween. Halloween for y'all, right? So let's honor them. Uncle Fatty in the house. We're not promised tomorrow. We own only one debt to life. Yeah, absolutely. And this is a man who's been blessed with having his family increased by at least one, and I think another one's on the way. He was saying so. He's master grandpa Fatty, Uncle Fatty, at this point. Shout out to him and his beloveds. Um, yeah, let's see what shit. Shout out to Special K. Jay has always proclaimed that every time someone in his family dies, someone else was born. His son has taken his grandmother's place. His second son, Noah, took his grandpa's place, and his third son, wow, gee, he's blessed. He got a big family. Ethan took his dad's place. Man, it's like everyone wants to come back because you guys got the good aura, the good stuff going on right there. Yeah, it's like my grandmother told this story. Like my wife and I we wanted to have a baby since we got married, but it didn't happen till like I want to say 6 years later or something like that. Right, and then the day her mother passed away here in Taiwan. Shout out to her, Quana P, KP. Who's a Scorpio. Her birthday's coming up November 8th. Mine's the 10th. She, when she passed away, the next day we found out that I remember where I was. I was downstairs shaving or something, getting ready for teaching. My wife showed me the pregnancy stick, and she was like, "We're pregnant, and pregnant." And I was like, "Holy shit! How funny the world works." I'm like, "That's her mom," and long and behold, Benjamin BBC Benjamin Bodie's like he literally takes on her attributes with her silliness and her fierceness and also his love for hot food and soup, like soup that's scalding hot where she can just throw that shit back. But yeah, it's interesting how that works, like what's really going on there. Shout out to the chat. Look what's in. Let me see this. We never imagine the future without all things we love, right? And then any day now, and then any day now you can have another one come in like he had. Yeah, this is why the little ones are so precious, because if you look at it like there's another side, invisible reality. They were close. They were closer to the other side than a lot of us will be. For a while, they were just on the other quote unquote other side, the unseen. So even though they're young to this 3D reality world and this avatar they have, they're actually they're actually old, quote unquote old souls. That's interesting if you look at it like that. And when you see the older people who are about to make the transition and die, they're pretty close to the other side too. And then us, we're stuck somewhere in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let me see. Shout out to Special K uh, with the comment. Yeah, he said exactly agrees with everything you just proclaimed about Benjamin coming into your life. Yeah, it's just definitely we have an uncommon commonality with that. Let me throw out the chat link. So if y'all want to build on this topic, I'd love to hear what you have to say about this topic of ancestor worship and semiconductors. Why the semiconductor too? Because, like I said earlier, the ancestor worship is so big here in Taiwan. It's basically the religion. I see it as the main religion in Taiwan, and in doing so, uh, we find out what's important to Taiwan, and it is family. It is family, and it is getting money too, because like we said earlier, worshiping the ancestors is to help them out in their transition wherever they're at, hyperspace, another world, wherever they're at, making them feel comfortable in a new setting for them. But it's done with the hope that they're gonna help us out here on our material 3D reality, right? They're gonna help us, right? Because nothing's for free, really. And a lot of times, what people want here in Taiwan and other places, but they're not afraid to say they want money, because money is the lubrication to get what you desire in life. And literally, you see in businesses on the full moons or special ancestor worship days, you'll see the table in front of like a phone store, like T-Mobile. They don't have that T-Mobile, but something similar. You'll see the ants people worshiping it, or in front of a karaoke club. All the employees out there making bye byes. They say bye byes like offering, burning money, the fake money, the ancestor money. You know, I think I'm gonna burn a matter of fact a set of credit cards and in a Lambo and a house for my mom in the in the ancestor pool thing we got going on over here. Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead in Mexico. Good by Leopard Print reminding me. Yeah, that's a big, it's a big thing. And if you see this lady on the avatar on the thumbnail, paint her face like a skull. She would fit in perfectly. That'd be kind of sick with her Japanese Chinese style hair with the Dia de los Muertos motif going on. Right? Look within. Yeah, that's the homie. So let's find out a little bit more about ancestor worship. Let me show you what that looks like. This is like a mm, I was hurting my ears. Let me lower that. Before we do that, let's talk about semiconductors, because that's what I was gonna say. They worship the semiconductor here because that semiconductor has brought Taiwan a lot of business, a lot of notoriety, and also the protection, basically, of the United States from a full scale invasion of China, because the semiconductors that are made here, which are the brains of the computers and gadgets that we use all over the world, um, from a from a remote control all the way to a F-35 fighting jet, right? Everything's a semiconductor. And that's what's worshipped here. This is why most of the people I teach, or used to teach anyway, professionals, they were engineers and they would go into that field. They would go into that field of the semiconductor business. This is what people worship nowadays in Taiwan. Some people.
Taiwan is undeniably the reigning giant in the semiconductor industry. Their local companies, such as Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, have established the island as a crucial player in the global tech supply chain. As of 2022, Taiwan is responsible for more than 60% of the global foundry market, with TSMC alone accounting for nearly 54% of the world's total chip production. This success has led the entire island to become one of the world's most successful and richest economies.
Which is interesting because you see, it's very, very rich, yeah, with the semiconductors, right? And like I said, they have 60% of the market down. Yet you go to the neighborhoods here in Taiwan, you can't even tell where the rich house, where the affluence is, right? Yes, there are certain little cul-de-sacs and like these nice newer houses and stuff, but it pretty much looks all the same here. Just like lower middle class. The aesthetics aren't that great, I have to say, in the city. But if you take it for what it is, which is a very dense city of people mingling and interacting, it's cool. But it is hard to tell to see all that money that's there, but it's there. Yeah, it's in there.
In the same year, the semiconductor industry contributed over $184 billion to the total exports of Taiwan, which is the size of some nations' GDP. Even its largest company, TSMC, has a market valuation of a massive $892 billion.
TSMC, Taiwan Manufactured Semiconductor Company, is the company for semiconductors. I have like a few students, parents that work there, and yeah, they work them to the bone to get these semiconductors at. And comment from Look Within, he said we should learn to make semiconductors and manufacturing them. And I assume he's talking about America, right? Yeah, and then I think they are doing that. They're definitely doing that, so they don't have to rely on the if something happens to Taiwan, like an invasion or something else from China, where the semiconductors are basically not able to go to market from Taiwan, they're gonna have to make their own. And President Biden's been, talking about that. Also been President Trump's also been talking about that too. But yeah, even if the United States does make their own semiconductors, it's gonna people are still gonna buy them from Taiwan and Asia and in this part of the world, and then probably not nearly gonna be as high powered and top tier like they are in Taiwan. But it is always good to be self sufficient, whether you're a country or an individual. Do for self, definitely. Comment from Uncle Fatty: the Chips and Science Act. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, President Biden. Yeah, they are actually um, they're making that happen as we speak. Yeah. So yeah, I remember that they said it would take 8 years. You're right. Look what then. It ain't going to be overnight. Just like those aircraft carriers that China tries to floss with. That shit ain't gonna be seriously a factor up until like another probably like 10 years, because not only do they not have the nuclear power like the most of the American fleet has with their aircraft carriers. Those aircraft carriers, you need to train to know how to use these things. You know how precise you have to be to land a millions of dollars fighter jet on a small landing strip floating in the middle of the sea. A lot of people die. A lot of people, a lot of vehicles and planes and jets have been junked because people trying to get used to that type of technology and operating it. So it ain't gonna be a while, right? But when it does, we shall see what happens. Comment from Special K, dude. Jay could not get all over all the houses that you put up in the real estate section of hyperspace. So many of those houses are enormous with so much potential. Yeah, and most of those houses are in. I was talking about are in. What do they call that place? Japan. Japan. We're jumping all over the place, but I'll show you some of these. This shit's crazy. Uh, in Japan, there's a lot of old houses up for sale because a lot of old people are dying and they're not giving their property to their children, or maybe they're not even having children. And a lot of these old houses, their mansions, basically in Japan, are going like from anywhere from a couple 100,000 to 9,000 American dollars. Five. I saw even one for 5,000 American dollars. Yeah, that's my real estate. There you go. Yeah, check out some of these houses. Yeah, this. Oh shit. Yeah, I'll do it like this. Shit, I'll just read it to you. Yeah, we got houses. Oh, this house is $11,000 right here. We got this one house is $11,000 American dollars in Kyoto, Japan, in the back country, right? Fuck, I should have put this here. Save this. Bear with me real quick. This to give you a taste of what we're dealing with. What's out there. I mean, go explore the earth. There's so many interesting places you could live and explore and yeah. There you go. Da, 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 da. Have some music while I put this in. For everything, a house like this, it's in the middle of quote unquote, I guess you can say nowhere, kind of. You know, look how it looks. It's like picturesque. Um, so you got to be willing to work remotely or be immersed in Japanese culture and the language because you're going to be at one of these small houses. And some of these communities, they'll give foreigners money to live there and incentives and whatnot. So there's options out there. There are options out there to changing your life. Maybe your ancestors will end up because of you. Your ancestors, your grand, your ancestors who are being born will be like be relocated to another part of the world, like mine. Literally, we went from Africa on my father's side, from Mali to Swaziland to San Jose, California, and that's his, you know. And now in Taiwan, and I'm here now, and his grandson, my dad's grandson, my son Ben, in Taiwan. We went like all over the place. And then from my mom's side, we went from Basque Country in Spain to Mexico, uh, and then to L.A. area, Ventura County, all the way up to what we call that? Oh yeah, San Jose, California. Right? Great grandpa opened up the first Mexican grocery store in San Jose, Mexican American grocery store. Oh yeah, we stopped in Texas too. Okay? And then that's just her mom's side, and then dad, grandpa's side, and my mom's side, Cuevas, William Cuevas, Adolf Cuevas. His family came from Scotland, Northern England, and where else did they have that lineage? A little Finnish, and then they went to Chile and up to Northern California. And his father, Caveman Cuevas, was a contender for heavyweight champion of the world boxing. So yeah, we got a lot of shit, cool stuff going on here, just like all of you guys do. Yeah, we're talking about the semiconductor. We're all over the place. We're merging semiconductor worship with ancestor worship, and because the religions in the religions in Taiwan are, it definitely does have a lot of diversity. The different religions, because there is tolerance here, and there's a lot more tolerance here than you won't get like in the certain other parts of Southeast Asia, and also even like definitely like the Middle East or even maybe even America. There's because there are some competition between some sects of religion, but there's almost like no friction, right? There's no hating or anything like that. We're not hating on people over here. Heading to Home Depot. Much love, y'all. It's like, all right, Uncle Fatty, appreciate you. Yeah. Um, hit up that lumber over there. Get some prices so we can plot out our next move. Right. Uncle Grandpa Fatty, the newly crowned. Yeah. Some of the things, interesting things about how Taiwanese religion mixes is it actually creates like a this interesting motley crew of mix of religions that if you ask somebody what their religion is, then most people don't even really know. Right? They just do what they do. Yes, there are people who are Buddhist and Christian and whatnot, but it seems to be a combination of Taoism and Buddhist, along with local folk religion. That's the main religion, and ancestor worship. Right? Because then some Taiwanese people do, like I said, they practice pure Buddhism or pure Taoism, like study of nature as manifested here on Earth, how we can learn from it. But it's more like both are blended with the traditional folk belief, meaning folk, meaning your local beliefs and stuff. Because whether you grew up in the West, I mean, like a devout Baptist or even Catholic, or the Middle East, where if you are a slave, you're a devotee, you're a servant of God, Islam. These religions are very monotheistic, and they require extreme loyalty. Right. This is why we see a lot of people debating little nitpicking little things all over the place. Um, Shout out to Fatty. So the Taiwanese don't say to each other, "My my Jesus, who's saying Christ trumps your Jesus." Nah, they don't. They don't do that. Uncle Fatty, they had a woman president. I mean, for the last 8 years. I mean, now we have Mayor Lai, my friend Mayor Lai. He's the president. He used to be the mayor of our city over here in Tainan. But yeah, so yeah, they definitely don't say shit like that, right? Yeah, yeah. What's up, Eternal? How's it going? Good to see you.
What's up,
You
family?
too. What's up? The woman in red. Looking.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, this is a
a
really
heart.
cute dress. This is the first time I've ever worn this.
Hmm.
It's
That's good. Well, you have to
different.
show us.
Okay, it's the fit check,
The
the
fit check,
eternal
drip
fit
check.
check, drip check, fit check.
All right. Yeah. Hearts all around. That looks like
The
a
back.
heart. Yeah. A heart booty with heart dress, and then it kind of reminds me of the blood, handkerchief that the blood's out there in like Piru City,
It's
Compton,
the
Bopton, will be wearing.
it's
A snake skin, huh?
snake. Yeah,
Snake
snake.
skin, yeah. Oh shit, you're the snake right here. Yeah, dope.
Yeah.
As always, thanks for looking beautiful for the show and whatnot. Popping. Yeah, yeah. Look at shit, Kay said. What do you say, Kay? The microphone's popping over there. Yeah, yeah.
Is
Well,
it me?
not me, but that's okay. You're good right now, but it's good that we know
Yeah.
that. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get money together. I'm getting sponsored by the mic I use, Deity. I'm gonna send all my panel members a Deity mic. I need to work on that. That way we can be all linked up. But anyway,
Do you have
we're
like a
here.
really dope setup?
Do I have what?
Do you have like a dope setup with like a big microphone and everything or not?
Oh yeah, dynamic mic for sure. But this mic is dope
Oh, I
because
wanna
you can literally
see.
plug this mic into your phone because it has a USB card. I mean
Oh,
USB,
for real?
yeah, port. But yeah, it's
Oh,
cool. You'll
wow.
see it. You will see it. It's all an
Yeah,
unveil.
we're all coming to your house.
I'll chill up here in the fourth floor and then the third floor for sure. Yeah, we'll get it popping.
Yeah, your
Yeah. Yeah, so we're talking about this at the moment Taiwanese religions and how it's like a mix of many different things and the gods and the goddesses revealed by most of the revered by most and worshipped by most of the Taiwanese are actually from China, the Han Chinese, as
Wow.
they say, Han Chinese,
You
and
know, I'm not just saying this, but I really feel like my ancestors, like all the way back, there's some
Mhm.
like real royalty or like goddess or something within that because I feel like, and I've mentioned this 100 times, but for real, like my eyes, they seriously give an indication of like that I'm really special in like a lineage type way because they go really golden and like my eyes are like brown, right? But then when I go
Mhm.
out in the sun, they change completely, like
Mhm.
completely. Like I've shocked someone before, like I will talk to them inside the house, we'll go outside and she's like, yo, your eyes are literally yellow. And I'm like, I know, right? So in the sun, my eyes go yellow.
Okay, I like golden, golden because if your eyes go yellow, that means you might have jaundice. You don't want that, but
Okay, not in a nice way.
yeah, I know what you mean. No, golden is good. I have something similar in a way where what you call it? I look in in the light and my eyes go from brown to light brown in a way. So that's cool. So maybe
Yeah,
you are, as they say, the golden child lineage, right?
I think I
So
am.
you're the golden child here with us. What's going on? No Bammer. How's it going?
Who's it?
Who's it?
Yo, yo.
Yo,
Yo, is
yo,
that you,
what's
Jay?
up?
Yes, hey, Henke.
What up, Jay? How's it going, bro?
Hey, hey.
Good to see you. Good to hear from you, man. This
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
great. This is great. We got the eternal one, the golden, aka the golden child,
Eternal life.
aka Blood Heart City, and we got Jay Jigga, uh,
Oh,
Jay
you good.
Boogie. Yeah, yeah.
What's
So what do you think about this ancestor worship, All Souls Day? Because I know Kay said she was raised Catholic. I don't know if you were Jay or Eternal.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Grew up Catholic. We actually went to the same church. We grew up going to the same church.
Yeah,
CD
that's
though?
dope. Yeah. What was the
Oh, yeah,
saint?
Yeah, you didn't go
What
to
did they have
St.
a saint?
that's where I was
Saint
baptized.
Lucy's, you said?
He didn't go to Saint Symphosa for school, but he was baptized there.
Yeah, like I went
Okay.
to
So
Sunday to church with my grandma.
CCD, like CCD school.
Yeah, so you were the same as they say diocese, or right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Okay, cool.
Psychology,
archdiocese,
archdiocese.
Right, I was
archdiocese.
diocese, right? I was
Terrible.
my church and school was called Saint Justin's. Saint
Oh, okay.
Justin's, yeah, yeah. I used to know what he did. I don't know. You guys, I don't know. I need to look that shit up. Again.
I was gonna ask you, were you confirmed?
Oh yeah, definitely. That was like the last thing I did. Right. Ritual of the church was confirmation. No, it wasn't. Actually, I went farther. I had communion. I got baptized. That's when they put the water in your head and you're a member of the child of the church. I got first communion, which you can take the blood. Listen, this is very occult, eternal. You you get you take the blood and the body of Jesus into your body, right? The first communion, and then we got, like you said, confirmation. No, reconciliation. That's when you can see the priest and say your sins, right, and get forgiven. And then there's confirmation, is where you reaffirm your baptism because you were too little to speak for yourself. And then I did one more called Eucharistic minister, where you
Oh,
can
anointing of the
give out
sick.
the host and stuff, the blood in them.
Anointing of the sick.
Yeah, all that.
That was
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah,
So
then I stopped going
you
to
actually
church.
went to like old folks' homes and gave them the communion, the Eucharist.
No, I'll be like John McCain. No, ma'am. No, no. No. You remember that when the lady at the town hall said, she said Barack Obama's a Muslim, and he's like, no,
No,
ma'am,
man.
no, no, ma'am, no. I never did that, but I did do this when my grandma. Speaking of to bring it full circle, like All Souls Day, when my grandma passed away in the old folks' home, I this is when I was in my Buddhist, tips, and I read the Tibetan Book of the Dead with her and tried to like walk through her like these transition, rites of her going back into the oneness and stuff. So yeah,
Wow.
that was my anointing of the sick with her
Wow.
that I made up. Yeah,
That's fascinating because
It's
yeah,
all it's all
Jay's
it's all
Jay's
ties into
grandma,
eternal life, man. Like
it
like
does.
your grandma went
It
through
it
does,
that
all
Jay.
stage,
yeah, man.
yeah, the stage that she went through with the white and painting everything
Yeah,
white.
everything was pure, man. Like it just yeah, she had to have like white cloth, white sheets, white
She started breaking the statues.
yeah, dude. I'll never
Wow.
forget the time I came here and my grandpa she had this statue of Mary in the backyard and my grandpa was actually smashing it with a sledgehammer and I found out that she had found out that is all just you
It was
know
all a grip.
yeah, it's all just the symbolism behind all of that, and just it's all in the heart, man, and the soul, and pretty much what it is, dude. She stopped going to church.
And she wrote the whole Bible.
Yeah, I've got
Wow.
stacks. She wrote the Bible that she was reading it, man. So like I've got
Hmm.
like stacks and stacks of
Spiral
spiral
notebooks,
notebooks
yeah.
with and I grew up reading it with her, and at the time I spent over here with her, you know, and my
Yeah.
grandparents.
Now that's
My
a beautiful
grandparents.
thing, man. Those are
Oh,
like priceless, Jay. To build with your grandma like that, and she's spiritual,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, like my grandma used to sing this song to me. The first song I learned called "You Are My Sunshine." Remember that song? You Are
oh,
My Sunshine. Yeah, she used to sing that to me, and then when she passed away, I sang it to her. You know,
Uh,
that was
wonderful.
wild. Yeah.
Because
Yo.
it's like you come into this world and like I watched my grandma go through a traumatic brain injury, and
Hmm.
she pretty much left this world as a baby, and it was to the point where she knew who we were, but she was in a nursery home, and like they found the best one for her. My mom works at a law firm like that sues people that does like wrong to them, you know,
Yeah.
um, and she ended up almost getting gangrene in her like leg. So it was like,
Wow.
yeah, my mom and her two sisters
It's
had to make the decision of are we gonna, have her go through this when she's like at this point in her life. So in the hospice and went peacefully, but it was just very hard to see it, and watching her go from almost a childlike stage again,
yeah,
leaving the world.
reverse. It's very ironic how it's like reverse.
And
Back
there's
into yeah.
there's
And then
a
when they
book.
pass away, you look on their face. Like my mom passed away from all the pain because she was on Dilaudid and all this stuff. She had ovarian
Oh,
cancer
the
and stuff, and
medication.
her face was literally it looked like it relaxed. It was so
She
tight and tense before when she left her body. And the interesting thing is, I'll say this because I literally have to like run and gun like leave right now and do this
oh,
stuff. But I'll just say this: um, she when we went, everyone went to say goodbye to her, and she was only 42 when she died, when she passed away. Everyone said goodbye to her that Saturday, and we were with her all day. And then we went outside to let the nurse at the hospice wash her and like take care of her. And we were outside, right? And I remember I was gonna go back in there, but then like I was happened to be watching this story about Deion Sanders on the TV at the hospice, and I was like, oh, he's my favorite athlete. So I stayed a little longer than I would have, and in that moment of staying there longer, she passed. So I didn't see her. I think that would have been too much or whatever.
yeah.
So so the way it worked out was interesting, and then I saw her face, and even though she was my everything, like I was so I was like happy in the sense that she didn't have 11 years of chemo anymore, have to deal with that and all the all the pain and shit and stuff.
Like
But
such a long time, Gabe. I really like, I admire you, and I almost have a feeling that maybe she did that for you, like
she
she
did. Yeah.
gave her like the permission to go maybe in some way and walked out, and she didn't want to like go in front of you, maybe.
No, I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what it was. You nailed it. Yeah. And,
you
yeah, I
really.
want
It's a strange feeling because I knew you mentioned that on Tommy's channel, and I'll be real short, but I know you mentioned that, and I had brought it up to you again, and like it wasn't even like, taken into consideration. You couldn't get a word in, but like I really like felt that you were close to her, and like how he named your name, and watching that was just so meaningful to me, and it gave me chills because you came into our life at a time that was just like, I can't explain how perfect it can be, more perfect.
Yeah.
And you're just such a blessing, really. You're a true friend.
No, I really appreciate y'all. Y'all, when you say that, it's like, yeah, it makes my heart like warm and literally,
Warm and fuzzy.
and I appreciate you saying that. I mean, because I love all you guys. It's like not no corny, fake way, but I truly do. I wouldn't be around you guys because
Yeah.
you'll know the people I don't like. I'll never mention their name or anything like that. But I
Yeah.
always mention you guys, Eternal, KJ, everyone in the chat. Like you guys are gifts to me, and I'm gonna cherish that. I
Yeah.
don't take that shit for granted.
I
And
feel the good ones, bro. I feel it, and I've learned lessons, and you taught me a lot of things. So,
well,
you're gonna be in my life forever, whether you get sick of me or not. You're stuck.
and vice
That's my
versa, and vice versa. Yeah, I can never. That's the thing about the Scorpio energy. You guys know, you ain't never had a friend like me. I'm
Yeah,
always have the door open and shit like that. So don't ever forget that. And yeah, I gotta go. I want to keep. This is lovely. Yeah, just like as Dino said, the lovely eternal. You're looking smashing. Okay, so
always, always.
yeah, so we're gonna peace out on this.
Yeah,
I,
we'll
I,
end on a good note. I love
yeah,
you guys.
We'll
I love
come
you
up
guys.
on the next one.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. I'm doing tomorrow, so I'm gonna be a lot longer tomorrow. We're gonna have our show tomorrow
Sounds good.
with Rupert, our psychedelic elitism. So please, it'll be was it Saturday?
I'll go pick up
It'll be in the
chocolate.
morning.
bar.
A
What's
chocolate
that?
bar.
I go
Yeah,
pick
bring up
up.
a chocolate bar. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll attend the right way.
All right. All right. Peace
All
out,
right,
guys. I love
uh,
you.
take care. Bye bye.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Peace
Yeah.
out, eternal. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace out. Lovely.
Short and
Lovely.
sweet.
Short and sweet like you. Peace.
Hmm.